Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird, then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Lonnie. And I'm distracted.
And you're listening to Two Artsy Gals. Yay! I feel like my microphone is doing something really dumb today. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. Yours has like got erectile dysfunction too.
Yeah. No, it's standing up.
Oh, okay, good. All right. You're listening to Two Artsy Gals. Did we already say that? We already said that.
Yeah, and we said yay.
We did. We did say yay. We already did that. Dude, Lonnie, I've been working on something for the podcast.
What you doing?
I think we're gonna reveal it in March. Maybe later in the month. I don't know. Except for that I keep trying to call this site the wrong thing. I'm making us a Patreon account. So, like, we can have listeners sponsor us monthly.
Awesome.
Anywhere from $5 to like $45 is the categories I'm working on. $5, $10, $20, $45 with little goofy rewards.
Nice.
For each. Like, they aren't going to be big rewards because realistically we can't like hand make a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're going to be little things that to say thank you.
Yay.
But, you know, I thought that it would be maybe a cool way for our listeners that want to support us to support us monthly on a smaller scale, and then instead of having to like frantically raise money every 6 months because we need something big.
Yeah. That
we just have a small operating budget to pay for the shit that we need. And we'll get into it more. It's a Patreon, but I keep fucking thinking of Patronus.
I don't even know what is.
Patronus.
I was like, what is a Patronus? Oh, yes.
I have a Harry Potter brain.
I like that. I like that. I support some podcasts that way. Only a little bit, you know, because I don't have a lot to give. But
I can't afford to do...
I give a little bit here and a little bit there. But yeah.
I subscribe to the Dork. I think I support the Dork Forest monthly.
Yeah.
And
I support the Mental Illness
Happy Hour. I haven't given him money in a while, but
and the Maximum Fun Network, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a way to like, you know, you're listening to a free podcast.
Yeah.
You can give back a little bit. My dog is such a dick.
It would help so much.
It would. I'm sorry. I just got totally sidetracked by my dog barking. He's been quiet until we started recording.
Doodle would like you to contribute, please.
Yes, he would.
If you don't want to hear Doodle in the background of the podcast,
that's
you
never gonna
give
happen.
money. Just kidding.
No. But, so, we'll give you guys the down low on that. And also, we're going to try something new starting next month. We're going to record all of our end of the show blah, 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 and our sponsor stuff and blah, blah, blah. We're going to have one message at the beginning of the show.
Nice.
And that's it. So that we don't have to remember to do that because I forget shit all the time.
I'm
I'm always like, oh yeah, and do this. And oh yeah, you can hear us here.
Yep.
So we're going to do that. Lonnie.
That sounds so organized.
Do you know what?
What?
It's almost your 1-year anniversary on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
It's almost your 1-year anniversary, and we're almost at our 2-year anniversary for the show, and we're almost at our 100th episode.
Wow.
We have a big spring coming.
Yeah. Woo!
I feel like we should do one big episode for everything. But I don't know what we would do that's special for that.
I don't know.
Or maybe we could do like a 100th episode special and then a 1-year anniversary special for you.
Wow.
That would be awesome.
That'd make me feel
we could have
shy.
Cake. We could have cake.
I love cake.
I love cake too. Clearly I love cake.
I know.
Lonnie's skinny today because she has her skeleton.
Yeah, I have my skeleton shirt on.
I should take a picture of your skeleton shirt. I'm so jealous. It glows in the dark, doesn't it?
Does. Yep.
It
does. It makes me skinny.
I want it bad.
Just bones, I tell you.
I want a bone.
Boney Maroney.
My God. I'm going to have to push pause and take my dog out because he's not going to stop. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm a little out of breath.
Aw.
Well, here's the thing.
Dog drama.
Well, it's raining outside, and my dog does not fucking like pissing in the rain.
I wouldn't either.
So I don't think he actually went when I let him out before.
Aw.
So he just goes out there and barks like an a-hole. Because he doesn't like to get wet. Because, I don't know. I guess it would suck to have to bend down and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a short dog. He's about knee-high.
Yeah.
I'm sure his peenie bird gets wet when he goes to
I know.
the bathroom.
It's
Probably
cold.
rude.
This weather kind of sucks. I mean, really.
I like it.
It
But I
sucks.
don't have to pee outside in it.
Yeah, I will. That would upset me because I could just feel the cold rain on my butt. Just thinking about it.
Oh my
Bird.
God. Sidebar. I saw a picture of a blue porta potty that someone put a sign on it that said Turtis.
I like that.
That makes me want to have a blue porta potty
Yeah.
in my yard.
We just need to make Turtis stickers so every time we see one, we can
seriously.
decorate it. That's what we need. So if anyone wants to send some Turtis stickers on over to Two Artsy Gals,
Yeah.
we will gladly
Was-
paint the
well,
town with
Oregon's
them.
construction season starting
Yeah.
soon. There's going to be porta potties everywhere.
Turtis opportunities.
Oh, Lonnie. What are we talking about today?
It's raining. Do you know what that makes?
What?
Rust.
It does make rust.
On certain materials like steel, I guess, and
Yeah.
such. Yeah.
Not stainless steel.
Nope. But that regular old steel.
Anything with iron in it.
Oh, iron.
So,
Yes.
what do they call them? A mixed metal? Is that an alloy?
Yes, that's an alloy.
So anything an iron alloys rust very well.
Yeah, they do.
We're talking about rust today.
I've never
Using rust, like making things rusty,
I've
using it in
never
your
done
art. It helps when you're like gonna make something look. You want to make something look old and creepy, or old and awesome, or
Yeah, okay.
so
I
you would
see.
rust something. Kind of like I force a patina on copper, which is the same reaction. It's oxidation.
Okay.
It to make shit look old or cool. You can make rust.
Awesome.
And you know what I learned as a child? I was afraid of rusty things, like
Me too. I think it
rusty
feels
nails
dangerous.
and stuff. Well, because our parents told us that we were gonna get fucking tetanus, like
Yes.
lockjaw from
Yeah.
it. But that's
And
not
you'll
where.
starve and die, so don't touch it.
Well, that's not where tetanus comes from.
It's the puncture wound. That's
It's
right.
it comes from the dirt. So it's not like the rust on the nail. It's for like the soil and the dirt is where you would get it when you get the puncture
Yes.
wound.
You can get
So-
tetanus from any poke.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's rusty or not.
No. And it's also for some reason in a whole wound. Tetanus likes those
It
kind of wounds.
buries
Puncture
itself
wounds.
up in there. Yeah. I have to get my tetanus shot. I'm behind. I had my
I
pneumonia
remember
shot.
the last time I got one.
No, neither can I. That's why they're like, dude, you need a new tetanus shot. I got my pneumonia vaccination last week, 2 days before I came down with this cold. So I think that I was already feeling like, because
Yeah.
vaccines make you feel a little. It's
Yeah.
just a vaccine reaction. You're just like tired. Your immune system's going, hey,
What is this shit?
what is this fucking thing in here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we need to make antibodies for it so we don't catch it again. And so your body's doing shit. But
Yeah.
get a cold on top of it, which that was an extra cold, not the same one. I think the last time I recorded, I thought that I had had the same cold for like weeks on end. No, I caught a new cold from my mom.
Wow.
You should have heard me
you're-
Friday. I sounded like Dr. Girlfriend. Do you watch The Venture Brothers?
Uh-uh.
So Dr. Girlfriend's this super hot chick, the monarch's wife, but he goes, she sounds like this.
That's kind
She
of
has a
awesome.
dude voice. That's what I sounded like when I was
Nice.
sick. I sounded like a man. My son called the house and he's like, Mommy? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, is that you? And I said, yeah, it is. And he's like, oh, I thought a man answered your cell phone and I was going to have to come home and murder somebody. My dog's barking because I'm using a fake voice. He thinks somebody new teleported into this room
Yes.
and got past him.
Yep.
But yeah,
Dogs believe in magic.
they do. My dog thinks I'm a magician all the time.
I hope a tortoise doesn't show up suddenly.
No, that would be poopy. Oh, God.
They're like, you rang? No.
They're not lurch. you, I
The
can't do that one.
crossover.
You rang. I can't make my voice that deep.
I don't know.
I can make myself sound like a raspy whiskey soprano, like gangster. I guess it's not whiskey soprano if it's a dude. Like I can make myself all like, "What are you doing?" Like that kind of thing, but I can't do that. You rang. Like that. That's too deep.
You just did it though.
People are like, "What in the fuck are these two doing right now?"
Stream of somewhat consciousness.
Stream of something. Stream of poop. We always talk about poop. So yeah, Rust.
That's a thing.
We're gonna talk about some Rust shit. So, wait, I've lost my way. Okay, well, since you brought it up, actually, let's talk about what metals rust best.
Yeah.
Because they're like anything that is like, okay, galvanized steel, not gonna rust.
No,
Stainless
I love that
steel,
stuff.
not gonna rust. Surgical steel, not gonna rust. Like they combine different elements to make sure that it is steel that doesn't rust.
Yeah.
I think galvanized steel will eventually rust once the galvanized shit like wears off, but that takes a really, 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 really long time.
Yeah. And
some
so those are
abuse.
really cool, those super old galvanized things that do have that.
I used to have a galvanized steel mop bucket and I loved it. But I'm not going to talk about what happened to it because I'm still bitter about it.
If you have patience to rust a galvanized steel thing, it will look really cool eventually someday.
Eventually.
Just put it in your backyard and just forget about it.
Wow.
Someday you'll be like, oh, look.
Or you could just be a dick and like ruin it.
I just learned that coffee cans rust.
Coffee cans rust like a mofo.
They do. I've tried to make a chicken feeder out of a coffee can, and yeah, it rusted. It's funny though. It
Your
still
chickens
has
are like a bitch, please. Why
I
are you feeding me out of
switched
rusty
it out.
stuff?
Yeah, no, I got the galvanized stuff now, but it's funny because I put these sparkly stickers on it that said "Eat at Joe's," and so now it's this rusty can with these sparkly stickers still.
I kind of like that.
It's kind of funny looking, yeah.
So I have a really cool thing that Sharon got me for my birthday a few years ago outside in my yard. It's iron, and it's a crow.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's unfinished steel or something. I don't know, but it's a crow that you stick in your garden, like it's a stake. You poke in there and it has a big metal crow, and then you're supposed to let it rust.
Oh.
And my husband was really like, "Why are you putting that outside? It's gonna rust." And I'm like, "That's what it's for." Because rust looks cool.
Is rust? Well, maybe this isn't part of the podcast. I just wonder what that does to the soil. Is it okay for the soil?
Yeah.
It's not. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't know why. Yeah, I have this danger thing with rust.
because
it's
our
bad
parents
for you.
programmed us to think that rust was going to give us fucking diseases when we were children. Well, I'm like, I grew up on the Oregon coast, and this is something to point out. If you live on the coastline area, it's way easier to rust shit outside naturally because the salt in the air, like we called rust on cars coastal cancer.
Yeah.
Because everything fucking rusts. Like if you get a scratch on your car's going to fucking rust because there's salt in the air.
Yeah.
That just happens. We couldn't use wire hangers because eventually, like the moisture in the air, especially in our house, we only had had a wood stove. So we didn't keep a constant dry heat going all the time. It was like you got up in the morning, you made a fire or whatever. But even during the summer, when you don't want to use the heat, there's still salt in the air. And it eventually rusts the hangers and makes rust stains in the shoulders of your clothes.
Is it the salt or the moisture? Like, does the
It's
salt...
the salt in the moisture.
Okay. So if you wanted to make a rusty thing and you added salt, it would go faster?
Yep, we're going to get to that.
Oh, sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
No, you're figuring out what's going down.
Learning some stuff.
So noble metals and precious metals are not going to rust. Like anything like gold, silver, platinum, like that shit. But I don't know why you would want to rust that anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to rust.
That's why it's so precious.
Yeah. That's why it's a precious metal. But I do have a link. It's actually a pretty cool, I think it's a kids' science website, but it's neat. It talks about metals and their properties and what makes them rust and what makes them not rust. Aluminum does not rust.
Okay. I didn't think so.
I like the way they say it in like England. Aluminium.
Really?
Do you remember the show Junkyard Wars? Did you ever watch that? We used to watch that all the time.
Only a few times.
Yeah, my son was really into that, and I always used to giggle because they would call it aluminium. And it reminds me of the little Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
Because he said, whoa. Did my dog just run by?
Yeah, the cat ran first, and then the dog was following it.
Like, what just happened?
It was like a little parade. It was really cute.
A parade? What is it?
Is that how they say it in England?
Today. No, I don't think that that's how they say it in England. Parade. Chirp. So there are ways that you can force your metal to rust.
Okay.
Like if you have some cool shit that you want rusted and you want to use it, you can buy chemical stuff. There are chemical treatments that you can use to make metal rust.
Oh.
I don't like using chemicals per se.
Well, you do. It seems unnecessary or like overkill.
I suppose that maybe in a desert area you would maybe need to use that, but I don't even know.
Still have water, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But there is one thing that's, well, see, the reason I don't like using chemicals is not because I'm being super environmental, which I am conscious of that, but I am really bad at following instructions like open a window for ventilation.
Yeah.
So I'll be sitting in my studio and go, woo, I feel dizzy.
You'll be on the news for polluting the neighborhood.
Hey, Doodah, get out from under my desk again. What is your fucking deal, yo? Now they're both coming in here to cause trouble.
They're going to try to unplug the podcast.
Get over here. Come here. And now his like fucking evil minion. I don't know who's who. The cat is the evil minion or the dog. I think the cat would like to think she's in charge. But there is this really cool product. Let me see if I can fucking think of like what it's called. But you can get it at Dick Blick. It's Instant Iron, I think is the name of it. I'm waiting for it to come up. But what it is, it's an iron paint that you can paint on paper or anything like that.
I was wondering if there was something that you could make
it's
other
called
things.
Instant Iron and Instant Rust. So you can paint this. It's a rust antiquing kit, and it's iron paint. So you can paint it on stuff, and then you use the solution, the chemical solution, to make that rust.
Awesome.
Which I actually would very much like to play with this.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, how cool would it if you could make things that don't normally rust. And that would be the way you would do it.
This would be the way.
Like
or
if you
want to make
figurine that you want it to look like a rusty
old statue or something.
Cool.
That would be rad.
Yeah.
You can use them in your mini dioramas that you were going to make after listening to last week's show.
And make it look like it's been on the coast for
real
100 years.
Or you found it in the backyard. I used to find cool shit in our yard.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. Like, we used to dig up beads all the time, and I was convinced that they were, like, Indian beads. Because, actually, the Tillamook Indians lived in Bay City and on the coastal area there. Mm-hmm. And you did sometimes find shit, but they were plastic. So, I don't know where they came from.
Yeah.
My mom also used to find, like, for years after we moved out of the house, when they built this new flower bed, she used to dig around in there and find our Star Wars action figures. She found an old Boba Fett, and she found a little tiny Yoda that she would not give back to me.
Aww.
And she found a few headless stormtroopers and
that's awesome
stuff in there. But because we used to bury our toys when we like killed them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I did air quotes for those of you who can't see what we're doing, which is everybody. But then, anyway, sidebar again.
We found a bunch of old bottles under my mom's porch. Those were kind of cool. Yeah.
I like old bottles.
Really
I
old
have
bottles.
some.
Yeah.
You could antique a bottle,
the...
rust a bottle, like with that paint.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fucking cool, wouldn't it?
Like maybe just the crevices or the...
Crevices.
The crevices.
Such a dirty word. I'm going to rust your butt crack. Bend over.
Oh, no.
Give me your crevasse.
My crevice.
Get it? Crevasse.
Crevasse.
Speaking of rusty and musty, we got new couches this week.
Oh, yeah?
We bought my friend Robin's, they're new to us couches, but I'm going to reupholster my red couches that I love eventually. Mm-hmm. But I had to cut the bottom out because I lost a pair of scissors inside of there that like fell into the hole in the couch.
Yes. Yeah.
I had an asthma attack because it was so full of dust and weird shit. And my dog ate the weird crumbs and stuff that have been in the couch for... I've had those couches for 10 years.
Dude.
I know. And then the cat crawled up inside of the couch, and we had to shake the couch to get her out of it because she wouldn't come out.
Yeah, because they're super cool. Our kittens did that.
They like get up in there and stuff. Jerks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can chemically rust shit. And I do want to try that treatment. I think I'll get some someday and fuck around with it. okay, you can also let nature do it. Like we've been talking about, you can put shit outside. I planned on doing some experiments to see how long certain things took to rust outside. But then I realized that would only work if I had started planning for this episode like a month ago. So, or however, I mean, I think some things rust pretty quickly, but also it takes things a while.
Yeah, I did an embarrassing experiment on accident when our previous apartment had kind of this weird gap in the deck that scared me. So I was like, I'm going to screw a plate down to like secure this part of the deck. But I picked the wrong kind of metal. Holy shit.
They're playing. Get out of here.
That startled me. And so I picked the wrong kind of metal, and this plate that I put on the deck to protect the deck started rusting like really quickly. It's kind of funny. Like that was my hi, I'm a home improvement idiot admission.
Well, that's okay.
But, you know, I was like, well, it looks kind of cool. So, hey,
Yeah.
it's working for
It
now.
looks
Until
awesome.
it's biodegradable, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it'll disappear.
Like,
I don't know.
I never understood why, like, that, like, we used to have this shed in our backyard that was made out of, like, that corrugated, like, tin.
Mm-hmm.
That shit rusts like a motherfucker eventually.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a rust shed. It looked really cool, though.
Yeah.
It was all, like, craggly and covered with blackberries and all rusty, and we used to dare, like, neighbor kids to go in there, and then we'd be like, and,
Nice.
and hit it from the outside because we were dicks, but... We sent more than one kid at home screaming. Probably their mother thought they were going to get tetanus from being in a rust shed.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, you know.
I wonder. I think it does. I don't know. I'm still not convinced that rust is a healthy thing to be handling, but I don't know.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. It's just metal.
Okay.
It's just oxidized metal.
Wow, I'm going to have to get over this phobia.
Well, it took me a while to get over it. Like, I mean, you don't want to go getting cut by a rusty metal.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
of.
like, you don't want to go getting cut by anything.
And maybe because when things rust, they do tend to be very jagged and sharp.
Yeah.
Like if
That's
a rust
dangerous.
hole forms in something.
It's going to be jagged along the edges, and you're going to...
Like Fort Stevens, that I took a really cool photo of the
Weird.
kids.
I was thinking of Fort
Yeah.
Stevens.
I took a really cool photo of the kids through this rusty hole in the door. And you see, yeah, if you would have run your hand along that, you would have cut the shit out of yourself.
I know, well, in
Yeah.
that same area, the Peter Airedale, the shipwreck, that's pretty rusty and weird. Like,
Yeah.
we used to say, my mom used to be like, don't climb on that.
Yeah.
There's not much of it left now, but
Gonna need a tetanus shot.
yeah. So, again, just leave your metal outside, and actually, because I'm going to talk about this a little later, we're going to talk about things that you could do. One of the things that you can do with leaving stuff outside, and my friend Judah actually recently did this on accident, but you can dye fabric with rust or make fabric like have cool prints on it with rust. And if you
Okay.
leave the fabric outside with the metal things laying on it and let it happen naturally, then it just is really cool. It makes
Yeah.
the fabric look cool and old if you're going to use it
Does
for
it
something.
stay or does it wash out?
Oh no, yeah, it totally stains it.
Oh, cool.
It stays. If you
Cool.
let it sit there, and like you can throw like safety pins rust really well, or like little washers or nuts and bolts and stuff like that. Those will rust really well, depending on what they're made of. But you know, obviously some are treated so they won't rust.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want something to rust,
The outdoor ones.
use indoor
yeah.
hardware or whatever.
Yeah. Probably the cheaper stuff.
Yeah, cheap shit.
Yeah.
Go to fucking Harbor Freight. They got all kinds of cheap shit. My grandpa had a coffee can full of nails that we left outside
Oh man.
when we were
yeah.
kids, and we got in so much trouble because it was like a nothing but
A
rust.
big wad of rust.
big
Yeah. See, that could be a sculpture.
Soup of rust.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Just
He got really
put a
mad
chain
at us.
on
We
it
had to
and hang it up.
We had
Look,
to
it's
buy
art.
him new nails, actually. But the funnest way, this is always the way I like doing things, to make rust, you can use household shit.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, Lisa Volrath, who was a guest here, has a website called Go Make Something. I don't know that she adds content to it anymore, but she has all of her old articles that you can look for on there. And she has a really great article about making rust with household stuff.
Awesome.
So, ways that I have heard to do, one of the ways that she does, you get tin or iron pieces, hydrogen peroxide, and table salt.
Mm.
So you're going to spray your metal down with the I put the hydrogen peroxide in a squirt bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the easiest way to work with it. Spray it down with that. Then you put the salt on it. And it causes it to rust pretty quickly.
It sounds like
Like
that would,
the reaction is pretty fast. So
Cool.
you can also use vinegar and bleach.
Okay.
And you just need your tin or iron pieces and your household bleach and vinegar, and you're mixing it 2 parts bleach to 1 part vinegar in a container, and then you soak your stuff in it. I wouldn't necessarily use this method just because
I don't like bleach.
I don't like, well, I like bleach.
Yeah.
I clean with bleach, but I can't use bleach without ruining what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And I always think, oh, I'm not going to get it on me. I'll be really careful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just
it's-
recently ruined a pair of my favorite denim capri pants. I ruined because I
So that's
fucking
why I
spilled
like
bleach on them.
peroxide. I use peroxide as a bleach a lot because, I don't
Mm-hmm.
ruin my stuff as much.
It's not as caustic.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also a lot of people just use the doodah.
What does he have?
So he has a tennis ball, and
No, the other thing.
that is a dirty sheet that he pulled out of the dirty clothes because he likes to bury things cover his ball with things and then dig.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry, it's like the doodah show today. He's just they get excited. I don't know what their deal is.
It's the weather.
So you can also just use I've seen it done with vinegar and salt. So you would spray vinegar on your thing and then sprinkle salt. I think that by far it looks like the bleach and vinegar actually rusts really well, but it kind of leaves a bit of a flaky rust that will peel off of things.
Oh, okay.
Another thing that you want to think about when you're going to rust something is preparing your metal. So you would probably want to sand it with fine sandpaper to make sure that there's no coating on the metal, depending on what it is. Sometimes they have a clear coat. Sometimes, they've done some kind of chemical coating on it to keep it from rusting. And if you just get very fine grit sandpaper and sand it down, and then wash the dust off, make sure that it's clean so that the surface is like primed to accept the oxidation.
Yeah.
And the chemical reaction that you need to happen to make rust will be able to happen. So always work with, it sounds funny to clean something before you rust it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think of rust as dirty, but you need to make sure that it's scrubbed really clean with a brush. You don't have wear gloves only because you don't want the oils on your skin to get on the metal.
It'll protect
because
the metal.
it'll protect the metal.
Yeah.
And make a thumbprint rust. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just.
But that
not
might be
rust
kind of cool
consistently.
if you could do that, like make a thumbprint
you
and
could.
everything else is rusted, but the thumbprint.
That would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
I'm going to post on our blog some links to Lisa's article and another article about different techniques that you can use to force rust with household items. I feel like that is by far the safest and quickest way to make rust happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you want to use it for, like you were saying, you don't know what you would use it for.
Yeah.
So like if you're doing mixed media assemblages or something that you want to look creepy and weird, you can, have some rusty nails that you just hammer in there, or like, or rusty, like anything rusty, like you just put it in there and make it, like you were saying, you could paint like a little plastic statue and make it look rusty in there, or it just looks cool. Like here, I'll show, I'm so sorry. I'm getting the hiccups. This is really weird.
It's making me think I should do something with that rusty coffee can.
Well, like my friend Lisa did this rusty sculpture. It's on her site, and I also linked it on the Pinterest. So you guys be sure to go check out the Pinterest board so you can see all the pictures of what we're talking about. I've really gotten into using Pinterest because then I feel like we're just having a place where we can collect everything, and then I'm not stealing other people's photographs of their artwork for our blog.
Yeah.
I can just refer people to a place where that person it links automatically to their website and they're credited. So it's just easier. That's why we're using Pinterest so much more lately. We're not being lazy or anything like that. It's just, plus I like people to see the inspiration and the research that we've done for the episode. I think that it's really, like, I'm here talking about what I've learned, but I think people sometimes leave our show wanting to know a little bit more, and it's just easier for them to go read what I read.
Yeah.
Because we only have, like, we have about between half an hour and 45 minutes for a show. Mm-hmm. Well, in a perfect world, that happens. So we don't have time to talk about it.
Concise and on top of it.
No. But, so you can also distress things and make them look like old for interior decorating purposes.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, you can dye fabric with rust. Mm-hmm. You could even like probably wad up fabric in a coffee can.
Yeah.
And with water in it and let it set in rust
like
and be like
tie-dye?
yeah, that would be really pretty.
Ooh.
And rust is a pretty color.
It is.
It's a very pretty color, and it's a cool. It would make a cool texture. Mm-hmm. It's also really neat. You can make rust plates, and I like doing this with old shitty cookie sheets that you don't use to cook on anymore because they get rusty.
Yeah.
But you can put paper in them or between them, like smashed paper or fabric, and they're called rust plates. They get wet, they rust, and then it rusts the paper that you have between it. And you can make cool old rusty paper to use in collages or any kind of artwork that you're doing. You could do paintings on it. Mm-hmm. Like that would be really fucking neat.
Yes.
I wonder if, too, I want to do an experiment with this. So
and maybe you could sketch with a rusty nail on
that's what I was thinking. Something like that. Like if you left, say, a coffee can outside, and is your coffee can outside still with water in it?
It's outside covered, but it just rusted even not being out. I mean, not being in the elements.
I was going to say, it would be cool to see if you could paint with rust water, like on watercolor paper, if it would stay. Like if that rusty color would go.
Like if you had a rusty tip of a nail, like if you just soaked the end of a nail and got it rusty, if you could like draw with it.
I know you can write with rusty nails.
Yeah.
I know that because I wrote fuck off on something as a kid because I was pissed at my brother.
Yeah.
And
so you could maybe...
My grandpa, again, found the rust fuck off on the door of his shop.
Oh.
It wasn't to you, Grandpa.
Sorry, Pops. Sorry about that, Pops. But no, if you had like your rusty paper and then you did like a rusty sketch on it. I'm imagining like a beautiful like burnt sienna tone drawing.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it'd be pretty.
It would be really pretty. It would be, and I love monochromatic stuff like that where it's different shades of the same color.
Yeah.
I had like quite a monochromatic phase that I went through in my artwork where I was only doing monochromatic work because it is awesome.
Yeah.
That would be cool to build layers of rust on a canvas or something even, or like you said, paper. We should try some of that.
I know.
We're just cranking out the ideas here, people.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that we've kind of covered this. Do you have anything else to say about rust, Lonnie?
I'm gonna try not to be so afraid of it.
Yes, don't be afraid of rust. You're not going to get tetanus from it. Also, if you're up on your tetanus shots, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, who fucking gets lockjaw anymore?
Yeah.
How often do you hear about that shit?
Maybe it's good for you. Maybe it's a mineral. Maybe
it is.
Yeah. Maybe we should be drinking rust water in our
well,
smoothies.
Maybe not that. But also, it's funny because I just read an article recently
on the
about
rust diet. Woo!
What if it turned you rust colored?
Ah! Like Donald Trump.
Ooh. Or like the guy that drinks the colloidal silver that turns blue.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Colloidal? Is that how you say it?
I don't remember
I don't
how
know.
to pronounce it.
I don't either. But,
yeah.
But no, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Dang it.
Shit.
I had something witty and funny
You
to
did.
say.
Dang
No, I
it.
didn't.
You
Anyway.
did.
Oh, no, I didn't. I was just going to say that I was reading an article not too long ago about how kids playing in the dirt and getting muddy helps them build their immune systems and stay healthy and exposes them to like
That's why
bacteria and minerals. I think it is like
Yeah. Probiotics and stuff.
I was like, we grew up playing in the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
Like I was muddy all the fucking time. My kid played in the dirt, but his friends, like he had friends. Some of his friends' parents, like moms, were way older, and they seemed to be more like, what do they call them? The helicopter moms that coddle and like they don't let
They're
their
very
kids get
precious
dirty or
about
go
dirt,
outside, and they were always fucking sickly.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be sick all the time, go play in more dirt
Yeah.
and like, rust stuff.
Yeah.
I bet you somebody out there has a cool rust story about something that they accidentally rusted, but it turned out awesome.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Or something cool that they did with rust. Like, you can email us pictures of it and tell us all about it, and then we will in turn tell our listeners about it. Because it's cool. You can email us at 2rcgals@gmail.com, or you can just call and tell us the story.
Yeah, at 503-395-7190.
Yeah, that's our voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
You just call and leave us a message.
I had a friend when I was little, and his name was Rusty.
I had a friend named Rusty as well.
And we rode bikes together.
I don't think bike chains rust.
Oh, they sure do.
And those, I've
Keep
seen
your
cool
bike
shit.
in the garage.
Yeah, but I've seen some cool shit made out of bike chains that
Rusty,
were rusted.
but yeah, that's true.
It's pretty
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
they are neat
And that would
shapes.
make a cool pattern on fabric if you let a bike chain rust on
snake,
fabric.
a rusty snake.
Oh, like a rusty snake. Like Rusty's snake.
Like, I don't want
Did
to
Rusty
know.
show you his snake?
Oh my God, he used to sing that song. Hurts so good. And I'd just be like, shut up. You're so disgusting.
Oh, why did you think it was
Because
disgusting?
he's good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good.
So he
And-
was like being dirty.
Yeah, and he was rusty.
Did you punch him? I would have punched him.
No, I was just like, you're gross. Yeah.
I would have been like, dude, if you don't stop singing that, I'm going to punch you. And then he would have kept singing it, and I would have fucking went crazy and punched him, because that's the little girl that I was.
Yeah. I just was like, whatever. I don't know. I used
You were
mental
just
kung
way
fu.
girlier than I was. I was just like, I was a thug. I'm not a bully. I was not a bully, but I didn't fuck around.
I just hop on my bike and peel out. Like,
Fuck you.
yeah. That's right.
Take that.
Squirting. Why did I say
What are you squirting? Holy
say-
shit.
Oh my God, I just sounded like a hillbilly. I was going to say squirting dirt in his face.
Oh, Lonnie, you're killing me. Oh my God. So, yeah. If you follow us on our social media accounts, we will not squirt dirt in your face. But if you don't, Lonnie's gonna totally squirt dirt in your face. I don't know what just happened. But we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on the Twitter.
I'm not crying.
What else are we doing? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it. I don't know. We can only fucking keep
And
track of so
this
much
right
people.
here?
Yeah, this right here.
This
And our website,
podcast.
our website's 2artsyGals.com, and if you go there, you can see the notes and the links and the awesome stuff from this article.
Yes.
And maybe a picture of Lonnie squirting dirt in your face. I don't know. I don't know how she does it. I don't know if it's legal to photograph and post on the internet. I have some pretty bad images going on in my brain right now. So,
I'm so sorry.
till next week, go make some cool shit, yo.
Do it now or I'll squirt dirt in your face. Good morning, Katie. This is your friend. I'm recording on the new Tascam. I'm trying to figure out what the buttons do. But every once in a while, I take a break to poo.